Monica Lewinsky is speaking out in a new and candid way.
She sat down with HBO host John Oliver and opened up about a topic she knows all too well: public shaming.
Of the internet and, of course, social media. We now have situations where it's exacerbated beyond, I think, what anybody could have imagined.
Monica Lewinsky talking one-on-one with comedian John Oliver about a topic she knows firsthand: public shaming.
You were on the receiving end of one of the worst internet-fueled public shamings of all time, and hopefully, in a way, ever. How the did you get through that?
Yeah, I don't actually know. You know,
Really?
I mean, it was a storm. It was an avalanche of pain and humiliation, and obviously I could not have gotten through it without my family, and eventually when I was allowed to talk to my friends too. And I think at 24 years old, it was, really hard to hold on to a shred of dignity or self-esteem when, you're just the butt of so many jokes.
It comes 20 years after the scandal that made her a household name. Her feelings still fresh when asked to reflect about becoming a late-night punchline and her public persona at the time.
It was not only just the slut-shaming, not only, having had an intimate relationship with someone who is now describing me in a way that was like no young woman would want to be described.
Sure.
There was just also my looks. I mean, I was very about the touch-ups and the makeup, because I'm like, part of my vanity now comes from just the wound of having been made fun of for my weight, for, people saying I was unattractive.
Lewinsky, who in recent years has made a name for herself in taking on bullying, saying this when asked why she never changed her now infamous last name.
There were several reasons I didn't. I mean, first of all, I don't think that it really would have even worked. Like, when I was job hunting, people even suggested, well, why don't you put a different name on your CV I thought, so then I'm gonna walk into an office for an interview and the person's gonna be like, oh, that person looks like Monica Lewinsky, and be wondering, and you're starting out a professional relationship on a lie. So there's not that. And then lastly, I think it was also a principle in the sense that Bill Clinton didn't have to change his name. Nobody's ever asked him, did he think he should change his name?
The 45-year-old acknowledging she's made mistakes, but refusing to let them define who she is today.
I'm not proud of all of the choices I've made in my life, but I'm proud of the person I am. I'm not ashamed of who I am.
It was a very candid and at times very funny interview. Lewinsky even telling John Oliver that she was recently invited to this 90s theme party, and she decided to poke fun at herself by wearing a beret. The first time that she's done that in 18 years.
If you want to get inspired, there's a great TED Talk that she gave that literally it'll like wake you up.
It's interesting to see, I think after all those years, she's sort of kind of coming into the public eye a little bit more, and the more you hear her, you see how much work she's put into herself, into thinking about this. She doesn't shrink from her own responsibility. She's just done a lot of thinking and a lot of hard work, and it shows.
Soul searching.
It shows.